What's happening? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You thought you wasn't gonna see me? Huh? You thought you wasn't gonna see me? Somebody wrote in my comment section, you be talking just to talk. You talk to hear yourself talk. Man, I think that it was best 2008. Man, you shut up. No, I'm joking, man. It's all good. I know y'all want to talk trash in the comments. I mean, I did clap back though. Cause listen, on the Six Paths TV, you can't come here with no disrespect. If you come here with disrespect, and I happen to see it right now, I'm a small channel, and I'll be watching the comments. So if y'all watching my videos, I'll be down in the comment section. You not finna come through here and talk about me crazy and ain't nothing gonna happen? Listen, communication is key. That's one of the goals of the channel, to help you improve your communication. All right? But also, it's just not righteous. One of men's jobs is to eradicate all evil. And you know what else is my job? And the Six Paths Commandments. Six Paths Dice here. The big wave. Mr. Lane, if you need me. Let me go ahead and walk me out to the show. Come on, hold on. Where's that? Yeah. Clap it up. Clap it up for yourself, too, for making it here. Listen. You don't know what kind of karma you have that you wind up here. But what we're going to be getting into today, man, is, the stuff that leads to men being weak and pretty much other men try to be the gateway drug. Other men trying to plant seeds. And because, again, confidence is so important, especially confidence in your communication, meaning that whatever you're saying it as if it's a no-brainer. That's one way of controlling people and getting people to go your way. Is when you speak on your opinion, no matter how crazy it is, like it's a no-brainer. I mean, yeah, of course I'll pour my coffee on my shoes. Like, wait, you don't put coffee in your shoes? That's what I do. That's how everyone knows I'm a coffee drinker. That's how I know where I've been. That's how I know I'm alive. I pour coffee on my shoes. Oh. I had no idea that you wasn't pouring coffee on your shoes, so therefore we can't be cool. I'm joking, but we're gonna talk about Tank. Shout out to Tank, beautiful voice, great music and whatnot. But actors and musicians and entertainers in general, especially black men, you're always showing you do not care about the community, bro. You do not care about actual good relationships. Let me tell you something. Any man that's telling you to compromise yourself and without explaining the benefit to the community, because you're in the community or the group, because you're in the group, so it benefits the group, it benefits you too. That's what we have to look for, is living in a way where if it benefits the group, it benefits you too. These kind of men, for one, they don't want black men to have no thoughts for themselves, no rules for themselves. So we're gonna get into Tank first. Let's go ahead and hear what Tank has to say. All right, here we go. Fair use. I don't want to hear nothing. No arguments, no grief.
Black men and the homosexual conversation that is a mess. The phobia as it relates to black men is the elephant in the room. And no one will actually articulate their devastation, right? Because you have to think, like, for a black man, the worst thing to be called is gay.
Yep.
It's something about black men and the homosexual conversation that is.
So I don't know if this is out of context or what, but it's an extremely disingenuous conversation. Because when you say that it's an issue with black men in the homosexual community. First of all, one thing I want to point out and I want to talk about is how can you ask one group to do so much to appease another group, and the other group is not really trying to appease them, nor does the other group care? I'm gonna tell you right now, gay men, homosexual men are not worried about the feelings and what straight men experience. Like everyone else, they're focused on themselves. They care most about themselves, I would assume. Like actually, I had a homeboy that I work with and whatnot, real cool dude. He's gay. You know what I mean? But you know why we was cool? Because he was friendly. He was nice. I mean, obviously, he's like a masculine, he's masculine and whatnot. You're not like someone that it jumps out at you right away. You wouldn't know right away. But I'm saying, real cool dude. We used to talk a lot at work and whatnot. Wound up being really good friends. But we became friends because he's like a really good person. You know what I'm saying? A really outgoing person, a good person. And for the most part, most black men's experience, most straight men's experience with queer people is not really the most positive. Queer men seem to kind of have a thing where it's like they don't really know how to interact with straight men on like in terms of having a whole conversation and being comfortable. And it's what it is. But I can't say that. And again, I've never been queer, so I can't say I know everything you experience. But I just think that people are starting to just realize it doesn't make sense to put so much effort into appeasing a group that don't care about you, that doesn't care about anything you care about. If anything, queer people seem to kind of be against all straight men, all masculine, all straight masculine men. And again, that's why you saw the country vote the way it did and move the way it did, because masculinity is we started to realize we need that shit to elevate, not regress. I can't even say regress because it's become non-existent. Like we need things to be separate. We need things that make sense. And again, where things should have stopped at with that conversation about, in terms of relationships between queer and people who are not queer, basically the rest of the world, is because when I was growing up, the message was to not try to abuse these people or treat them like they're an underclass or a second class citizen or discriminate against them. And it's gone from that to what feels like that this is being prioritized. You know what I'm saying? To the point where like, yo, look, let me pull this drawing up real quick with Ketanji Brown, man. That wasn't the one I was sharing. 1 second, y'all. Where is it? Because I saved it.
Sort of like the starting point. The question was whether it was discriminatory because it applied to both races and it wasn't, necessarily invidious or whatever. But, as I read the statute here, the case here, the court starts off by saying that Virginia is now one of 16 states which prohibit and punish marriages on the basis of racial classifications. And when you look at the structure of that law, it looks in terms of you can't do something that is inconsistent with your own characteristics. It's sort of the same thing. So it's interesting to me that we now have this different argument, and I wonder whether Virginia could have gotten away with what they did here by just making a classification argument the way that Tennessee is in this case.
Yes, I think that's exactly right, that there is absolutely a parallel between any law that says you can't act inconsistent with a protected characteristic.
Drawn by the statute.
So this is about Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson compares law banning gender-affirming care for minors to former bans on interracial marriages. She says it could be a discriminatory and sort of the same thing. All right. I see a really long comment here. I'm gonna read it. It looks pretty interesting. It says, in my opinion, gender-affirming surgery should not be funded by taxpayers at all, whether at the state or federal level. These procedures, while deeply personal and significant to those who choose them, should be classified as elective surgery and privately funded by the individual seeking them. If taxpayer dollars are allocated to cover medical procedures or medications, they should be prioritizing essential healthcare needs that address conditions such as cancer, cardiovascular diseases, neurological disorders, or infectious diseases. These are areas where public funding can have the most significant and widespread impact on improving health outcomes and saving lives. Public funds should focus on addressing critical medical needs rather than elective interventions that alter physical characteristics for gender affirmation. This distinction ensures that taxpayer dollars are used responsibly and equitably for the benefit of the broader population. Which I think that's a great comment. So like I was saying before, when I was growing up, what we were being taught was to make sure that you acknowledge the humanity of people who are different from you. And I still believe that, right? But what we're seeing more and more is that, having Tank get up there and act like, first of all, I know you're not talking about these modern men. We the first ones to wear pink. And I mean a lot of pink too. Okay? We were the first ones to wear pink. We were the first, our generation, pretty much let go of everything. You know what I'm saying? From like when I was in school, lesbianism was just a popular pastime. It was very common for you to meet a girl and y'all get into a conversation. She done had a girlfriend before. She done messed with a girl before. Or you heard this girl was messing with that girl. You heard that this stuff was turning girls out and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like you always heard about that. Well, that's what I used to hear about in high school. But we was extremely liberal. And like no questions asked, because we was a generation that was raised by the first generation with no actual like family, you know what I'm saying, without family structure. And we started getting into that mind your business culture, right? Where you're completely disconnected from the people around you. You know what I mean? Basically a group with no structure. A group will never be great without male leadership. I'm sorry. That's the only leadership you really can have is male leadership. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It is what it is. Hold on, man. Let me show y'all one more clip real quick, y'all. Man, let me tell you something. And don't get me wrong. When Trump was president before, and like I said before, I don't really necessarily feel strongly about any political party or nothing like that. But I'll say this though about when Trump was president before. I'll say obviously he didn't know what he was doing as much. At the time, we didn't. For one, we never really experienced the country, at least in our lifetime, doing this bad financially. People who work their whole life. Ooh, what's going on? Hold on, y'all. Make sure I'm on the right mic. Nope, wrong mic. Oh shit. Hold on, y'all. That's on me. Me, baby. That's on me, baby. My bad. I was on the wrong mic. Pause. At least in my lifetime, there was never a time where everything went up and kept going up. Listen, like when I would go to the local barbecue spot to get the chicken and ribs with rice and fries in 2020, that meal was about $17. $17. In 2024, 4 years later, that meal is almost $23. So in normal inflation, by now it would be like $19, $20 by now, not 23. You seeing things jump up to the point where like even like having beef, like beef is like crazy expensive. But anywho, we never seen the economy change like this, and that's what made people start paying more attention. And also too, with the numbers of especially African Americans, and I'm gonna keep bringing this up. How have you been in a country for over 400 years? And somehow, some way, and as fertile as we are, as fertile as our women are, you are still a minority. And I never thought about this until recently. I was, again, child deletions stop. You don't know who you stop from coming into the world. And again, the less children being born, the less families. Again, we have less of a population. You wouldn't think that's what it comes to, because again, because they're going to, again, if less people are being born, then they're not going to have as many kids either. You know what I'm saying? So it's less kids. I'm sorry. Basically, it's less kids to have kids. Maybe I'm talking just to hear myself talk. But hold on. There was a missed opportunity, but I will take it again because it's my channel. We've been here for 400 years. Negro, you are still a minority. Hold on, what?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious? Think about it. Okay, but let's go ahead and share beloved. So this person almost became.
Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you.
A bottle of Henny in her hand.
You have the same power that you did before November 5th.
Yo, first of all, now of course they AI'd in like the bottle and whatnot, you know what I mean? But I ain't gonna lie, man. I thought that thought crossed my mind when I saw her speak before, and it's like, I don't know, man. That sound like weed talk, man. That sound like weed talk. And I'm never mad at weed talk. I'm not mad at weed talk or weed love. But understand that the limitations of weed love and what has to be present for weed love to be successful. Oh, what's that? Huh? Oh, you want to know weed love? Weed love is when two people get together and they both have this a lot of issues, but they smoke weed together, right? So therefore, somehow, some way, you're not able to pick up on this ain't really working out. Even if you have a high tolerance, having a lot of or if your only experiences around someone is with cannabis, I know it's different for me. I'm not a different person. I don't really see things differently. I might be more relaxed, helps me wind down and chill. But anyway, people who have serious problems where they actually they feel as though they need it to feel better and whatnot, you know, they usually find someone else who also smokes and everything. And 9 times out of 10, when people have their own bud and when they smoke in general, and maybe not so much now, because one of the reasons why there's more people smoking weed is because there's more access to it. It's a lot more access, and also it's sold more underground. The reason why kids don't really drink that much liquor is because this all depends on who got liquor that you can drink, right? Who can get it for you, and also how many bootleggers do you know? Do you know a bootlegger? Someone that's making moonshine in their grandma's garage? No, you don't know him. You know that scene from Elf? I know him. No, you don't know him. Doesn't exist. Okay? Doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Doesn't exist. I gotta find out when to use this. So I feel like maybe this should go. It should go after this. You know what I'm saying? I do the or like whenever I drop a bar, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go ahead and drop. You know what I mean? Go to. I know. I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna do it together. But anyway, about structure. I'm getting warmed up, baby. About structure, right? So, and again, and you know, all right. Before I go back to Tank, again, you was going to be the president of the United States. I shouldn't be able to. It'd be one thing if she was just talking. Her posture looked drunk. She's leaning over in the chair. Okay, like she been drinking. Goodness gracious. Or no, not even that. Like she was hungover. Because that's why it fits. Okay? And the fact that this was being pushed on us and that there were so many black people who thought I gotta go with her is an issue. I know that man ain't perfect and stuff like that, but we're kind of past that. What black folks gotta realize is that just because a lot of you don't like leadership, you don't like structure, and you don't like success. You don't like success. One of the most relatable examples of that is us with our obesity rate. You know what I'm saying? One of my greatest mistakes was letting myself get to be over 300 pounds and keep myself in a perpetual loop of gaining and losing weight. Now, I've had a little bit of trouble maintaining my weight over the last year and whatnot because I'm older now, so I have to be even more strict about what I do and everything. But also that sleep. The sleep is the biggest thing. But besides that, and that's another one too. There's so many different things that we do that show that, yo, you know what you should be doing. Like, I know that I should go to bed at 9 o'clock, but am I doing that? Or go to bed at 9 o'clock sometimes, but am I doing that? Am I ever getting 9 hours of sleep? No. For years and years and years, I wanted to live a lifestyle where I ate how I wanted to. And you know what happened? It got to a point now, my thing about now, that I wasn't even making the attempts to follow the meal plan of the bodybuilder. I wasn't making the attempt to find the money or really look at, all right, well, you know, is anything I could do to get this done faster? I'm like, yo, if you're trying to eat healthy, bro, and eat good at home, you need to have at least 2 or 3 gadgets. You need to have a toaster, air fryer. Now, you're going to go out to get a new air fryer. If you're someone who cook a lot, you got to get a new air fryer every 2 years. An air fryer, and to get you the all-in-one, the pressure cooker, the steam cooker, all right? You know what I'm saying? One of those, and a cast iron pot, a stainless steel pot, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a slow cooker if you like to do slow cook meals and whatnot. You know, things like that, and mad Tupperware. Mad Tupperware. You make time during the week to wash the dishes. About an hour or so. You got to wash all your Tupperware. And make big portions, big pots. But anyway, these are things you need. But the point I'm getting to is I realized that I didn't like stretch because I didn't like the commitment. You also fear commitment. Everyone need leadership. The way to be successful is one to evaluate that my problem solving skills cannot fix a situation, so I have to call someone else. Like I always use the example of your car breaking down, you need to change your tire. If you don't know how to change your tire, right, and you have a flat tire, now is not the time to necessarily learn on the side of a highway. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, what you need to do is do what? Call roadside assistance if you don't have any other choice. Because your skills, your management skills, you cannot manage the situation. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But that's how everything is. You need to seek the leadership and the information of someone else who knows more about the situation than you do. All right. So that you can move properly and have a good outcome. You know what I mean? And that's also what you learn from being around your mom is that, yo, one thing about mom is like, mom is not only going to enforce things she doesn't like, or she'll speak on things she doesn't like. But mom can't really, women in general are not going to enforce like strict structure because it's stressful. It's a lot. But we need men to be men, and we have to stop doing this shit where we have a celebrity come out and basically speak on it with confidence and speak as if, and especially with Tank right here. Let's go back to Tank. Shout out to Tank. There's this tone that's used where the men are trying to communicate as if they've thought a lot about it, as if they're trying to be sensitive to someone's needs, as if they're speaking about a very serious thing. Straight men's relationships with men who are homosexual is not the biggest issue in our community. It is not something that needs, like, you can't explain to us. For one, I don't think gay men aren't saying that. Are gay men saying? Are gay men telling you that? I mean, and hold on, man. Let's go ahead and play what he said again, real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna play the next slide.
You see it. You see it everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
There's an attack on.
There's an agenda.
So what he's speaking on is he's trying to further the idea that the manosphere and the whole red pill space is basically a space filled up with a bunch of delusional people who do not believe in everyone basically having a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because I don't even want to say equality because it's just. It makes things complicated because, but anyway, so, but that's what he's speaking to, that basically that men are inherently deceptive, men are inherently evil, and masculinity must be checked. And it's all sleight of hand. It's all like sleight of hand. It's all a trick because when we all engage in activity, what do we wind up doing? We wind up ignoring what? Because we can't focus on two things at one time. This is the way in which that women can be very intelligent socially, like understanding social dynamics. Women are damn near masterminds at this. When it comes to trying to convince you of their point, to get you on their side, to get you to let them They are masters at this. You've seen it play out through social media where it's got out of control now. Because again, where these last two generations are the generations that was raised by people who were raised by single parents, but specifically single mothers mostly. Okay, which means that more than likely you never learn how to have a good relationship with structure, with rules, with discipline. You don't have a good relationship with commitment because mom is not going to make you commit to something for years. Unless maybe you got a tiger mom, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But she's not going to do that. I always know, and I don't get mad at my mother and whatnot, right? But if I was the parent in the situation, I would have handled it differently. So I was getting my ass kicked out there. I got jumped really bad, like twice, walking around the neighborhood. Got my ass beat. So I obviously needed to learn how to defend myself. But I had like no self-esteem. I had chronic low self-esteem, and I'm still fat, but I was a little pudgy kid, and and I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do shit. Okay, I was terrible. I didn't want to do nothing. But my mother didn't know that. Nah, like just because he say he don't want to do it doesn't mean that you should just let him not do it. But my mother didn't want to deal with an attitude or deal with, man, he gonna give me a problem. And again, women's instinct is to avoid unnecessary stress. I mean, everyone's is and whatnot, but it's part of preservation. It's a smart thing to do. Women don't put themselves in front of the chopper. It's smart because they're not built to get in front of that chopper. They're not built to withstand that kind of shit. All right, because again, like if you think about, all right, even if you're a man, right? If you're a man watching this right now, I want you to think back to a time where you screwed up and how intense it was for you, how much you thought about it, how you felt and whatnot. Let's say it was your fault or wasn't your fault. But let's just listen, I won't make it complicated. Think of a time when you really screwed up, right? And it was all on you. Especially when you couldn't make no excuses on why it happened, right? And think about how intense that was and how that felt. That's how women feel about almost everything, depending on how she grew up, depending on what kind of emotional regulation went on in her childhood. And again, if no one's checking you, and I don't mean just checking you, because the thing that happened with mom is going to check you based off of things that maybe she don't like or her preferences, not necessarily. And I'm not saying all the time, but it depends on how she was raised. But she's not like, for example, right? I didn't start making a good impression on people until I was in my 20s. It took me that long to learn how to understand how to communicate with people, how to speak to people, and get my presentation together. You know what I mean? People would complain to my mother all the time about me being too grown. And rather than protect me and kind of help me and whatnot, my mother just wasn't, first of all, my mother was young. I don't think she thought, well, I don't care if he has bad relationships, but she just didn't see it as that kind of problem. And I remember her even talking about it. She said, yeah, I just said, we know that's just how he is. That's not acceptable. Okay? Like when it comes to doing well in the world, don't get me wrong. If it's something like, I like puffy cheese doodles, you like crunchy cheese doodles, that's not really a big deal. It's not really a big deal. But if I'm someone that when I'm out in public, I eat like this. There are grown people. Don't get me wrong. Certain foods you're going to smack a little bit. But it's obvious at times when you're eating in a way where you're not even being mindful of, you smacking your fucking lips and like right next to me. It's one thing. We are in a food court somewhere and you really can't hear me eating, right? But we somewhere you up close, like I'm like what my homeboys be doing that? I'm like, bro, come over here smacking, and that's my nigga. But bro, I'm almost 40 years old. I can't take it. My nerves are shot. You understand? At almost 40, I'm 37. I can't. No. Stay up, back up, move. I've taken enough. I got one baby mother. I've taken enough stress. No arguments, no grief. And we need structure. Structure also ensures peace in the environment, because with me and that, If a man's around, right, especially if he, and that's why it's important for men to have some kind of religion or code that at least is bigger than him. You know what I'm saying? So at the very least, maybe we'll just say, let's just unite around the idea of no matter what, we don't want to see anyone get hurt, and we want to see the group do well. So as I say, the group is my family and the people in my neighborhood. We'll start there. That's good enough. Your family, the people in your neighborhood, the people that you interact with at work and at your church or wherever you go to, your mosque, synagogue, whatever you go to, right? Let's just start there. That's good enough. That's enough people. Because if every man is on that type of time, then we're all good. But that's another thing too. Men didn't necessarily ever stop being that. What kept happening, Crip Secure pointed this out. What kept happening is Crip Secure had a brilliant show. She touched on this a few times about how these trans people are able to come in and do what they're doing, like to the point where you have people who are in high positions in society fighting on their behalf. And again, I'm not saying that people who are queer, trans shouldn't have any rights, but it is an issue. I mean, if that's what's going on, then it should not be fun. They still be saying it shouldn't be funded by tax dollars. Basically, you shouldn't be able to get that done for free. I had no idea. I feel like Dr. Umar. I had no idea that this was even going on. I had no idea that if you were someone who wants to have a surgery, I guess for the kids, I don't know much about it, but the fact that this I think she's a Supreme Court justice. Now, of course, she got even more, the sisterhood love her because she got her a white man. And that was another reason why they love Kamala too, because she pretty much had all the things going on that black women, especially modern black women, kind of uphold. When she has power, she has some kind of wealth. She got good hair, you know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna lie, Kamala Harris do look like she's biracial. She do look like she got a black daddy somewhere, you know what I mean? But that's not what she was saying. It's not for me to do the investigation, but if you never identified as black before and you've always identified as Asian American, I'm led to believe that you being black is a lie. It's not how being black goes. You've never seen that. This ain't no old civil rights movie where you're passing and you don't want people to know that you're black. Like Kamala Harris, you are not Queen. See, that's a throwback for you young people. Queen was one of the first movies that Halle Berry was in. And then the point of Queen was a story about a young lady that was so fair skinned because she was mixed race. She was so fair skinned that she would be what you would consider passing. Which personally, I don't know how that works. Like I don't get it. I mean, I know it's basically she was racially ambiguous, so people couldn't tell that she was black. I guess I don't know how that works, but because I'm like, but hey, it was a different time. But that's what it's based off. So that's what I mean by you are not Queen. You know what? You have Google. You don't have to take my word for it. Go on your cellular device and go ahead and look up Queen Halle Berry, and you will get the reference to that joke. All right. God bless. Okay. Yeah. So I gotta remember to hit these buttons, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to Tank. So Tank is again was making this disingenuous argument about whether or not masculinity is under attack. So, first of all, there's too many men who agree. And one thing I'm going to say about men, I'm not saying that we can never be delusional. Of course, men can be wrong. Of course, men get it wrong from time to time. But everyone is unhappy. The men, because they're not in control of nothing. Not even a family. So you got to realize there's no point in me having a family. Like, could you imagine one of the reasons why people like having pets? And I'm not saying a family is like a pet or not. I'll say a car, right? So the car was your car, right? Let's say the car was alive and everything, right? And let's say, damn, you know what? That might be a bad analogy too. But the point being is that imagine having a car that wouldn't actually drive you places that you wanted to go. And say, all right, boom, let me go ahead and I want to go to the gym and whatnot. And the car says, it's not a good time right now. It's not a good time right now. I'm not turning on right now. I'm not going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, you'll start. And imagine people still had cars, even though the car, or no, not even that. Let's say we all had Teslas and they're all on autopilot. They're all basically they drive. You don't drive the car. It drives you where you want to go, right? You tell the car to take you to Western. If the car starts telling you that's not going to take you, you will return the car. Because like, what the hell? What's the point of me having this car? It doesn't do anything that I want it to do. And your family's not exactly like that, but it's like to a certain degree, everyone's supposed to benefit. Actually, the car does benefit from you having it, because if you don't drive the car, then the car, everything in the car kind of basically rots away, because it's unused. And actually, that's kind of what's happening with. So what's going to happen with my generation? It's happening with the previous generation. You've seen the finest women, Vivica A. Fox in her time. And by the time Vivica was famous, she was already very grown. Like, we didn't even see her in her prime. When I say prime, we're talking about your prime childbearing years, and also in terms of when you're your hottest. It does not mean that you cannot be beautiful at any age. I tell sisters all the time, you can be beautiful at any age. It's just that you're going to have to work on it. You know what I mean? But in terms of, and again, now that I'm an older man, and I talk to my friends about this all the time. When you get to be about like in your 30s and whatnot, I'll say around like 33, 34. That's when you can appreciate a younger woman, because you're out of boyhood. You're no longer you're officially no longer a boy at all. You're a full grown man. You are matriarch age by that. I'm sorry. You are patriarch age by that point, because at that point you're ready to start having kids. So the further that you get away from 30 years old, the more that woman in her 20s and whatnot is more attractive. But also the thing is that women in their 20s are attractive to everyone. Okay. Whereas a woman in her 50s is only going to be attractive if she's very attractive, and also to a man that's around her age. So if you're 21 years old, woman that's 51 is going to look very old to you, unless she's one of those superheroes. Like, she's like Wonder Woman, where, Wonder Woman was like immortal or something like that, right? Yeah, she was immortal. You know she was immortal. She was immortal. Because for the most part, that's the only way it's going to happen. Y'all going to have to become vampires or something. And I saw something earlier too. Speaking of that, with Janelle Monáe. I'm going to preface this by saying that, first and foremost, I think it goes without saying that we know that Janelle Monáe is a great looking woman. She's a very attractive woman and whatnot. And her body is bad. All right. And the caption says, "You guys don't get it. I really don't think my prime is in my 20s, laughing my ass off." And because this is in response to a happy 39th birthday party, happy 39th birthday to Janelle Monáe. I promise you, your 20s isn't even close to being in your prime. 20s is like a trial and error run, and you learn and grow in your 30s and live off the fruits of your labors 40 plus. So this is one of those situations where, again, you're trying to ignore the masculine and feminine energies that govern the universe. And I'll keep saying that. A woman can be attractive all the way, I'm saying, at any age, but it's not going to be the same. The thing is this: when it comes to the dating market, and this is why I'll comment and whatnot, but I don't necessarily get into arguments. From time to time, I'll respond to a comment in these kind of forums, but I'm not going to go to your actual page and talk shit to you. You know what I mean? That's just, it's desperate. And also, I'm not showing respect for you have a right to post whatever you want to post and say what you want to say. And I think that it stresses men out, because a lot of men, we live and die on right from wrong. And we feel like, what you're saying is wrong, so I need to say something. You know what I mean? Not only that, more men have got to realize that men have been, I don't know how else to put it, but just pussified to the point where most modern men didn't know that they could say anything. They didn't know that they could speak him and say, "No, I do not like you having a wig." I'm gonna tell you right now, if you having a woman having a wig and walking around with them nasty braids in her hair around the house is one of the most unsightly of sights. It is very uncomfortable. Now, I've never been with a woman who had kind of braids in their hair, but I couldn't imagine, I'm with you and whatnot. I'm walking around the house and you walk around the house with these nasty braids that got new growth and whatnot, also so you can wear this wig. That shit is for women who ain't got no man, because don't no man want to see that in the house. Listen, if you got that going on, then you need to have you some house baseball caps, or I need you to go put a do-rag on or something. You know what I'm saying? Or I need you to go and put on a fedora or something. You can't walk around my house with no nasty braids in your hair. I'm not want to do that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And that's how I know.
He never had my back. He told me how much
Never had my back. Never had my back, bro. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of that,
I always respected your hairline.
All right. But I point this clip out, and again, shout out to Janelle. It's crazy. I'm 37, right? And like I remember like seeing her when I was younger and thinking that she just seemed so mature. Even like when she was introducing Jadena to the world, right? Shout out to Jadena. And here another one. I like him a lot. I'm sorry, I like Jadena a lot and everything, but like in recent years, like he's been in the news. I think like last year. I think what was he saying? I forgot. I think it was something to the effect of like ruining women, like basically ruining women in their 30s, and I don't know. He had some curls in his hair and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, like you a man. Like, why do you have two spiral curls coming down? He wearing these bell bottom. He wearing this little like this like cowboy outfit. I don't know, man. I was like, oh gosh. Okay. And it's getting to a point where we're starting to realize that we're gonna need the musicians and entertainers, especially the black men, just stop talking. Don't say anything else. Okay. Because all it does is just muddies I don't say muddy the water, but it just starts making the mission more and more unclear. All right. Makes it more and more unclear to the point where again we start like believing in lies and we start believing in our own version of reality, right? The woman in the caption described the timeline of a man. A woman can do all of these things. Yes, it can be a trial and error run. But the thing is that in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, a man can live 3 different lives in his 20s. Those are 3 definitively different people. And it can be different for women too, right? But the thing is, a woman is having a geriatric pregnancy in her 30s. All right. Like she's always at risk for uncertain deletion, self-deletion, having kids, right? When she gets older, it's more difficult. And the thing is, this is y'all trying to create a reality that doesn't require or where the validation of family isn't present. Right? What would make all that hit harder is her having a you know why it don't hit hard for the world? Now to the hyenas in the hood, she's doing it because why? She has wealth, she has power, and she has status and fame. You know what? I'm going to break that down at some point, but that's what. So whenever black women see women looking good, having some kind of status, basically people know her, she's popular, and having money and stuff like that, then that's it. You're never thinking about but what's the what makes this person a dope person to you? You know what I'm saying? Aside from them looking good. And what's crazy also is that when Janelle Monáe first came out, Janelle Monáe was covered up. She used to wear a tuxedo and used to wear her hair in this puff and whatnot. And it wasn't until recently, over the last thing, I'm sorry, about 10 years ago, when she had this record with Jadena and whatnot, and then her lyrics started turning like very sexual. And then she started kind of basically becoming like this sex symbol, right? Now, mind you, it was never a thing before because, again, no one really used to see her body like that. I think, but people thought that she was a pretty woman regardless, though. You know what I'm saying? But if we started just kind of seeing, and this is a really interesting metaphor, Game Changer said this shit. You see like this stormtrooper type of aesthetic going on where all the women are starting to look alike and act alike. You know what I mean? Even the ones who are supposed to be classic, because her image was based off of I'm a real artist. Janelle Monáe was stamped by Prince, the purple one himself. You understand me? When you meet Prince and he walk away from you and whatnot, right? When you go home that night and you take off your hoodie and you take off your undershirt, there is a purple Prince symbol on your chest tattoo. It's done. No arguments, no grief. Don't ask me about it. All right. You understand? You want them to dance this motherfucker. You understand me? So, let's go ahead and go back to Tank real quick. You know what I'm saying? And what he's doing also, it's almost like he's an agent sent to come attack the manosphere, to basically attack the whole concept of men speaking up and speaking freely and thinking for themselves. All right. especially in the black community. And a lot of black men don't realize that's an unfair form, not unfair. That's a form of mind control. When I want to stop you from having your own thoughts, that's a form of not mind control. All right. So, and what they'll also do is they'll get good looking brothers who are in shape. Because when we see brothers like this who talk with a deep voice, they got beards and shit, they got biceps and shit like that, you're going to automatically think, all right, well, these guys seem confident who they are. They seem secure in who they are, so it must be for a reason.
Strong black men.
Mm-hmm.
But who's the attack coming from?
Mm-hmm. Do you believe there's an attack?
How?
No, I'm asking. Do you believe?
Again, that's my answer.
Oh, how?
How?
Well, I think as people say it, through media, through fashion, through what's acceptable. Because
like who?
Because like if you think about it,
you see it everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
There's an attack on
there's an agenda.
Strong black men.
Mm-hmm.
But who's the attack coming from?
Tank getting up there and saying that bullshit is like, honestly, it's egregious, bro. And you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem because, okay, I'm gonna ask this question: who encourages black boys to be dominant in their field? Who teaches black boys that they're supposed to lead their household? Absolutely, not just serve the household. Because for the most part, you're raised to think that. Now, again, it's in a man's innate. It's innate in a man to sacrifice for himself and for his family. That's not going to change. But what's happened is the needs have come, basically the economic and emotional needs have somehow gone up. So somehow we have to be more sensitive to everyone. And somehow we have more bills than we've ever had before. These subscriptions, nah, man. For me to afford the subscriptions, I need some donations. More gifts, nigga. On this show, we do random sounds. I don't know when I'm going to use these drones. You understand? Get up and get out of them relationships. Yeah, get out them relationships, man. All y'all. But so yeah, so he says where? What do you mean where? Even between black men, right? Can we say that it's true that within our culture, isn't it one of our activities? Isn't it a common practice to always downplay how great a nigga is? Or for example, are you looked upon favorably amongst a group of black people if you sound smart? If you not even that, do we glorify having class? Matter of fact, do we glorify our fathers at all? Do you honor your father? Do you speak highly of your father? Does your mother speak highly of your father? How about one of those? This is an example of when men don't realize you have listened to what a woman has to say, right? And now you're speaking like a woman. But the thing is, actually, you're not. Because women at least know how to always keep what benefits them and other women in mind when they say things. Because even in this act right here, he's trying to sacrifice. He's trying to give and be kind. And sometimes maybe men don't even know. Even the brother that's answering him, he is giving pushback. But for one, he's the host. He doesn't want to be rude to the guest. But he may not have the words. Okay, but it may not always be a direct thing, but it's also about what we uphold. Like we can't say that, like, in our homes that in our culture that it's a thing that most fathers are honoring. Not matter of fact, most black men want to believe that if they're a good father, they're the only good black man, that they're the only good black male father out there. They're one of a minority. No, that's normal. The numbers are in. They've done a study on this shit. And if I'm in the hood, I always see kids with a father. I don't know the situation or whatnot, but I'm out with my son all the time. I see black men with their kids. I live in a black community. I see black men with their kids all the time. Ain't no anomaly. It's not like I'll put it like this. If I see a black man with his kids, it doesn't catch my attention. I don't say the way that maybe I would if I saw an interracial couple, then that's going to catch your attention. It looks different. You're not used to seeing that, and you're going to look and whatnot. I can't even count because I'm always out and about. I'm always outside, so I always see people. I'm like, it's normal to see men with their kids. But it's all about PR. Whoever controls PR controls the story. Black men have had the greatest PR attack ever put on a group of people, right? And another thing about the PR attack is the people that you're attacking, especially when it goes on forever and ever, it gets to where the people you're attacking believe it. I had a conversation with a friend of mine where, like, I think we were talking about black male fathers and whatnot, and he was saying there's so many words was that he doesn't believe that study. He finds it hard to believe that black men are the best fathers. White people are telling you black men are the most involved fathers, especially this group. Because we got to give ourselves credit for the fact that some of us, didn't have our dad in our lives, right? I can say this about my dad. My dad was not in my life for most of my younger life. But when I was older, my dad was always, by the time I was 12 years old, my dad has always consistently been in my life. You know what I'm saying? And consistently, and consistently, been there and support one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really say that, since then, my dad ever wasn't there. It may not have been perfect, but my dad has always tried to be there and also tried to make up for the time that he wasn't around me. And he acknowledged that too. You know what I'm saying? And I always appreciate, there was a time, when I was trying to get me a new spot and everything. And I remember he was saying, like, man, I wish I could, help do more to help. And I'm over here like, man, like, for what it's worth, I appreciate you even feeling like you want to help me, like, or want to do anything for me. I'm 37 years old. I'm saying I'm a real big boy in more ways than one. I mean, wait, relax. Oh man, I just got another comment on the page. I might have to start responding to the comments, man, because I be in there smoking, y'all. I be getting nasty with y'all. But anyway, but that's how I know the channel is popping. When people are talking shit to you in your comments, your channel is getting licked. That's what people do on the internet. People don't go on the internet and say, "Oh man, let me go ahead and find me a content creator and say something real nice to them." You know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, I would, but anywho, but yeah, bro, it's coming from everywhere. And again, like I said before, it's more about what's not seen as positive, what's not promoted. Again, I can't say that even growing up and whatnot, no one ever told me that, a woman's not supposed to ever disrespect you. She's not supposed to ever try to make you look bad or tell your business or try to embarrass you, or violate you in any way. Whereas for the most part, black men, they think it's all right because it's a part of your upbringing. Like I was, like black women will joke with you about being mean. Like, oh yeah, because I'm mean, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I seen this earlier. So somebody made this. When he tells me I'm the worst, damn, she even has the wrong worst in there. It's worse. The worst woman he's ever met. It's gracious. She means when he tells me I'm the worst woman he's ever met, and it's a woman dancing with drinks in her hand. So somebody said, is there anyone who can make the black woman so we can overuse this perfect meme? All right, so there you go. At the time, I didn't realize that it was a girl saying this, and what she was saying was, it's so many words. I'll show you all of them. And now it's like an emoji, right? So that right there is the same as men wanting to repost a meme that says, when she says I'm the brokest nigga she ever met, or when she says that I'm the biggest liar she ever met, and I create a meme like that about it, right? So y'all gotta realize that again, you guys are literally about to destroy civilization because, like, We can't reproduce if we can't get together. Also, black people, fuck all this generational wealth stuff y'all be talking about. Everything else just be schemes. The way to have wealth is to have family and to pool resources. Everything y'all be talking about, this 50-50 bullshit, that's such a disingenuous conversation. After every conversation we have as black folks is all disingenuous. We all act like we don't know what's going on. And again, that shit comes from not telling the truth. The same voice you talk with, the same voice you think with. If the voice I'm thinking with, that if that one don't basically, if both of them don't make no damn sense, then how do I know when I'm telling the truth? How do I know when I'm telling a lie? That's why I get on black folks about using too much goddamn slang when talking about serious things. My man told me he was in a vortex. That's my love. I love him, but he told me he was in a vortex. Sir, I could not write that on a police statement. If someone, we tell your story like it's a police statement, as if you would have to say it in court. So that way it's clear we know what's going on. Because I walk away, I mean, I know what you mean, but it's like, yeah, but I don't know what happened. Like a vortex can mean that, yo, she tried to gut you and whatnot, and that's different. Very, very different. But so I bring that up because it represents two different things that go on between black men and women. On one hand, the reason why that woman thinks that's funny, right? When someone, it should never be funny to you when someone says you're the worst person I ever met. That's not funny. That's a huge insult. But we also create this culture where things that are bad, not so much that they're good, but they're not bad. Or because we create women also help to create an environment where you can't shame them. You can't tell them they're wrong. You can't tell them to stop, or you can't make them stop. And also I've been noticing more and more how in relationships, women for the most part, even when you hear women online talking about relationships, a lot of it is like extortion. A lot of it is like dealing with a bully, right? Where it's not just you trying to be a good woman. It's you saying, fuck all that. I'm not trying to be a good woman. I just want what I want. If you're not going to give me what I want, then I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like this big bluff / bullying session. But a lot of it is the women telling the man, this is how it's going down, buttercup. You hear me, buttercup? Chuckle. No rebuttals. All right. So let me get back. Let me let I think Tank was still talking.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe there's an attack?
How?
No, I'm asking. Do you believe
Again,
back in our generation, we're the exact same age, we didn't see homosexuality. It's been around since the beginning of the time, but it was your auntie's friend, your uncle's friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's more in your face, more acceptable. It's more mainstream, actually trendy, you know?
Well, the world has gotten smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we know that more humans exist.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually able to see those humans living out their lives.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't able to see that before.
Back in our generation.
Again, that's what I'm talking about. And listen, this is an excellent lesson in communication. When you can say shit like you believe it and like it makes sense, it doesn't matter what you're saying. Sir, thanks to the whole lot of nothing. What do you mean that the world has gotten smaller? All right, so what do you mean by that? The interviewer is speaking to movies, he's speaking to media, he's speaking to basically who is chosen, who is written into these scripts, who's chosen to represent what brands. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. Some people are choosing that. Has nothing to do with the world being smaller. People are choosing to put these people on bigger platforms. Okay. Like, for example, where's this John at? Situation right here. Anuk Yai, hope I'm saying her name wrong, has revealed that she and her sisters are receiving death threats after she expressed mixed emotions about losing a model of the Year award at the 2024 awards to Alex Consani. Hey, all, it's one thing to send all the death threats to me, but it's another to send them to my baby sisters. I can handle it, but I don't need them to learn how to. Thanks. Supermodel Anakia reacts to transgender model at Alex Consani being crowned Model of the Year at the British Fashion Awards. Keep it. I don't want it anymore. That's what she said. And then she writes, Alex, I love you and I'm so proud of you. British Council, thank you, but I don't want it anymore. If you have seen the effort that I've seen Alex put in, you will understand how proud I am of her. But Alex can be proud and I can be exhausted at the same time. It doesn't take away from how much love we have for each other. So I don't really know what the extent of their relationship is. I guess maybe they know one another and whatnot. So it's interesting how when celebrities speak on things, right? When they speak on their peers, they always talk about their peers as if they have close relationships. I don't really know what the relationship is. But this whole thing is not fair. All right. It's not fair to have women, to have people who are born men be able to just say, yo, I believe I'm a woman. And even this right here, this also shows how I say indoctrinated, but how much feminism has bled out into other communities, into other parts of the Western world and whatnot. And now we're starting to hear more and more African women coming online talking like American women. Right. And like Africa, whether they know it or not, you're on your way to being destabilized. Shout out to Crimson Cure. She made that point. You're on your way. Because when you don't have any control, when you have no control over the women and whatnot, then everything stops because we can't have a family without cooperation from everyone. Everyone has to cooperate. All right. And again, structure. That wasn't, no masculine man thought we should allow this person born as a man to compete with this actual woman. So on one hand, you have an actual beautiful woman, then you have the other person. I can imagine that's how it feels for the country music award people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, this is supposed to be like the last space or the only space. Then again, it's always been black country music and whatnot, but as far as what we know, or who we know to do country music and whatnot, you feel me? But I guess to a certain degree, maybe that's how they feel. They feel like, damn, this is supposed to be like a white thing. This is for white folks, and here you come like making it better. So I just had one last clip before I got the life after lockup and whatnot. I am getting tired already. I got up at like 5 something this morning, and it's my day off. So I was going to work, but I think I'm just going to stay in because it's a vacation day. I've been thinking more that, you know what, vacation days need to be vacations. And just like let it be that. But speaking of again, we have agents that come out to speak for black men. A lot of times there'll be people who appear to be masculine, appear to be confident and whatnot. And especially, you see someone like say Steve Harvey, who was an older guy, he's an experienced guy. We know Steve, right? We know Steve for a long, long time. So when Steve talks, you don't expect Steve to lie to you or lead you astray. But now we have Black YouTube, right? And we're able to kind of start having conversations about certain things that people aren't able to maintain a certain image if that's not who you are. But let me go ahead and play this clip with Steve Harvey real quick, all right?
Keep your damn mouth shut.
There it is. There it is.
Just shut up.
That's right.
Don't say nothing.
Right.
It's best don't say nothing. There ain't no trying to fix. That way you ain't got to fix. What if you're right? What? What did he say? What did you say? What if you're right?
The whole crowd erupted in laughter when the man said, and this is a matter of your relationship that you're also in with someone else. And he said, well, what if you're right? Now, what I thought was interesting was, and I comment on this comment, where a lady said, Why can't anyone comprehend what he's saying? He's not saying be mute and go along and get along. Well, where is it? Hold on, make sure I can see it. He's not saying to be mute and go along and get along. He's saying 9 times out of 10, picking your battles is smarter than going to war with your partner about every little thing just to be right. Man, this is what I mean by when we don't practice telling the truth or being accurate about things, we get to where we don't realize when we're lying to ourselves. That's not what he said. If he was saying to pick your battles, he would specify that. He said, don't say nothing. Keep your mouth shut. That's what he said. He never discerned like what the context was or when to keep your mouth shut. He's saying in general is keep your mouth shut. That's not the same as saying pick your battles. But that message is not really for black men. It's entertaining to women. Women hear that and say, oh, I know that's right, Steve. This is Steve's whole hustle. Even way back when he had that book, Think Like a Man. I didn't read it, you know what I mean? But again, the whole idea of it was what's the word? Misandrous. You know what I'm saying? This whole idea of you need to trick these men and play them at their own game. And he feeds into the whole idea of, again, men are inherently evil. All men are predators. All men have to have that masculinity checked. You check it. But then I ask you, what group or nation is strong without strong, ruthless men? Because only ruthless men can protect. Okay? I'm not saying ruthless as in you do everything ruthless. I'm talking about when the crucial moment comes and whatnot. And it's a matter of life and death. Only ruthless men are going to actually protect anything. Only men who are going to protect anything. But again, all these things make men into cowards. Because if a man can't, if you can't be the man in your home, I cannot imagine coming home and having arguments. It's my house. I'm supposed to have some kind of control over everything that go on in here. It's my place. I'm not sharing it with nobody. It's my place. Like what? Huh? No, stop. Bro, stop. All right, y'all. We got that's it for that, man. We're gonna go ahead and share this drawing right here. So this is Troy. And Troy is going. So all right. So the previous episode, earlier in the episode and whatnot, his I guess his mother randomly bought his daughter to come see him without telling him. And Zaraya's having like a episode where she's like super angry for no reason and nothing's really going on. She's just being abusive with Troy. So she kicks him out the car. This is on their anniversary and on the same day where they're having an event for the community where they're making burgers and food and they're promoting their nonprofit, right? And so that's how the episode starts. I believe. No, I'm sorry. The last episode she got kicked out, and somehow she got him back. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's a part of the episode that I missed. I don't know. I don't always watch the entire thing. I'm love at the lockup out. But anywho, so they're driving to some parts to go meet his child's mother, right? So first mistake that Troy's going to make is bringing Zaraya with him to begin with. If you know that your child's mother is confrontational and it has not warmed up to Zaraya yet, and she's giving you all these problems and whatnot, why are you bringing her with you? Matter of fact, and again, we know the reason why he bought her, because he can't tell her not to come. He can't. He feels as though he's not in a position to tell her, nah, babe, you gotta stay here. He don't feel as though, and it's another thing too. It's another reason why they don't have a good relationship. He's not able to ever tell her what to do. She's always telling him what to do. It doesn't matter what the situation is. It does not matter who has the money. The position doesn't change. Of course, certain responsibilities are different. So, of course, you're going to have more control over certain things. Let's say you have a credit card. Credit cards in your name, right? So, of course, it's up to you to maintain. It's up to you to make payments on. So of course you can say, hey, don't use the credit card, or I'm taking that credit card away and whatnot, because you know what I mean? Because whatever, right? But in general, your position, who you are, what you are, does not change. And again, Troy has bought into the mindset of I don't have a lot of money, so therefore I have no power. So to a certain degree, yeah, that's right, but it doesn't mean that the person that you are married to can just violate you, bro. All right. Let this draw and play fair use. Oh, I was doing that again. Let me refresh it, y'all. Fair use, fair use.
I'm sure Yana feels some type of way towards me. I hope that we can at least be cordial. You ready?
Are you ready? That's the question.
A little nervous. Nonetheless, yes. Spending time with my daughter means a lot to me. I now have my moment to be there for her.
All right, so I don't think Troy's being completely honest about his relationship with his child's mother and whatnot. So the thing is about when people are in jail, they can talk to multiple people at one time and get away with it because the person they're talking to never able to put eyes on them. So Zaraya cheated on Troy before. So what Troy hasn't learned is that when a woman cheats on you, especially if it's not a situation where y'all both want that type of time, the thing is that, yo, if she betrays you one time, she'll continue to betray you. All right. Or if you're not willing to stop talking to her for a good while, and I don't want to say punish someone, but if you're not willing to really take any action on it, the relationship is never the same, and more than likely she'll cheat on you again. Right. And where he's at, and also again, women who act like her, those women who get real loud and get angry and stuff like that, those women are the number one cheaters because they're more likely to be impulsive. They're more likely to find a reason to get upset, you know what I'm saying? And they'll look for stimulation elsewhere. They'll say, all right, well, I'm going to call this person. I'm going to call that person and whatnot. Because people like that will sometimes, the people with intense mental health problems and whatnot, they have this thing where if you're not in front of them, they don't think about you once you're not in front of them. It's like they forget all about you. Kind of like a dog, where a dog, when the dog doesn't have a perception of, oh wow, I haven't seen my owner in hours. You know what I'm saying? When you leave, right, and you come back, you could be gone for hours, but in their mind, they don't realize that you've been gone for hours. So therefore, they never think to miss you. So if you're not around, it's easier for them to disconnect from you because they don't really have a strong feeling of like, yo, like, you know, where's this person at? Because again, that probably would make them go crazy if they really thought about, where's my owner? Where's my owner? You know what I'm saying? So that's how people who have mental health issues are. You know what I mean? People ADHD, stuff like that. If you're not in front of them, they have a hard time remembering you, thinking about you, or missing. They don't really miss people, which can be bad for a relationship because it makes it easier for a woman in particular to disconnect from a relationship. And that's another reason why we're getting to where we can't have relationships, or men are starting to feel like I can't be in a relationship with somebody who's going to end it for any reason, anytime. Okay. So, anywho, so I think that's how we get to a person like Zaraya who cheats. So Troy more than likely is probably gotten back at her, or is trying to get back at her. And I'll say, or will get back at her at some point. It always happens, right? So he probably was talking to his child's mother a lot more, right? And she may have thought that maybe there was a chance that they would get back together. Because realistically, even if she got a man right now, it's always the best thing to just be with the person that you had kids with. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what, she'll always kind of want to be with him, or kind of want him. But also, he's showing you with his past what he's been. I won't say been conditioned to like, but none of the women around him are a safe place. None of the women around him are supporting him and being like a good man. Everyone's trying to control Troy. Everyone is putting him in a position of basically having to be subservient and not in control. This kind of thing makes men go crazy. This is how you destroy a man from the inside out.
What are you nervous about?
Dealing with this annoying ass baby mama of mine.
Well, we can't focus on that, Troy. Seriously, if that's the mindset that you're in going into this. It's not the good mindset
Fast forward a
that
little
you all
bit.
can raise your daughter.
Just stand my ass up right here.
That's fine. I'm gonna take a seat.
So this is really weird. They're meeting in a park. I guess his child's mother said that she's gonna bring the child to the park and whatnot, and so Troy's looking to see his daughter, and it's like this whole thing of playing the whole like gatekeeper thing, and trying to do it under the guise of protecting her daughter. Don't get me wrong, to a certain degree, she's not completely wrong because Zaraya does seem unstable, so I can say to a certain degree, like she does have reason to be critical. I wouldn't say that she can't be around her father. But I understand like her not liking Zaraya. First of all, because women understand I'm sorry, women know how other women can get down. She probably sees Zaraya as she's similar to me. She moves like me and whatnot. And I see she probably knows that. Actually, no. She did know. Actually, she did know that Zaraya had cheated on Troy. And in one of the previous episodes and whatnot, Zaraya is screaming like, how's your mother know that I cheated on you and this and that when you forgave me and this stuff? Fam. Anyway.
Where my daughter at?
Not here.
What do you mean she's not here?
She's not here. When you give Troy the proper apology, then.
Well, I can't give her the proper apology if she's not here. That would be the proper
first of all,
way to apologize.
I got a kid with you, so you already know how I'm feeling from here on out. Right now, me and you have to get an understanding. I don't have a kid with your wife. I don't care to talk in front of nobody. I told you that. This is between me and you. Until me and you can build co-parenting stability, nobody should be around when we're having.
So, to a certain degree, I'm going to give her that respect because she is kind of right about that. Maybe not. That's not really the way you say it. The way you say it in a classy way is, for one thing about having class is that you do not operate or communicate. You do not communicate the assumption that I think that you're trying to attack me or do me wrong in any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? You kindly say, hey, we're kind of still working on things and whatnot. Could you give us a moment? And she kind of kindly asked Zaraya to step away. Or Troy should have asked Zaraya, hey, babe, go ahead and sit in the car. Troy didn't do that because Troy has no control over his relationship. There is no way that if I know that I may be getting ready to have a confrontation. First of all, as soon as I saw that my daughter wasn't getting out the car and whatnot, I would have said, hey, what's going on? As soon as you said that the child's not here, I said, all right, man, I'll see you later then. Or we'll talk on the phone, you know what I'm saying? Or I'll say, Zaraya, go have a seat in the car and whatnot, and then talk to her for a few minutes. It makes no sense to have this conversation in front of her. But what the mother's also doing is kind of taking advantage of an opportunity. When people are passive aggressive or people are not accountable, what they'll do is they'll recognize an opportunity to give themselves an alibi for what they're doing. So she keeps also doing this. I'm not sure if it even matters to her that Zaraya is there. More than it matters that he's not with a woman that's over. He's not with her. He's also not with a woman who's overweight. It's another thing too. When women are very tall and very big, and again, I don't think she's not built bad at all, but she's a little heavier. Whenever women are bigger than they're supposed to be, a lot of times they seem unhappy and they come off unhappy. They come off like masculine, come off unhappy, and they usually kind of play these games with their baby father where they try to actually control their relationship and whatnot. You know what I mean? Saying like growing up and saying that you need to give her. First of all, she doesn't determine when you give an apology. This is what I'm talking about. A lot of these relationships, especially for broke dudes will always find themselves in relationships where the mother and the women around you all operate as if they're your mother and you're like 10. And they have a say-so in what you get to say and do and what's acceptable for you and not acceptable for you. You know what I'm saying? Which is not how you operate with no man. You don't talk to no man like that. All right. Because again, like that's not who men are. That drives a man crazy, not having any control over his environment, not having control, especially over of his woman and his kids and his home. All right. If you find yourself in that situation, yo, there's nothing you can do. I watched a video with Dennis Sperling earlier where he was highlighting this situation where this guy was a stepfather and the boy out of control and the mother saying, yo, it's all right. I don't know why you're making a big deal. Why you arguing like with my son? And he's saying, yo, you need to get some control over him and whatnot. The son's talking crazy, cussing, all you know what I'm saying, just all types of stuff. And what Mr. Sperling was saying was that that's not a home. That's a war zone. Men have to avoid that kind of stuff. So and to a certain degree, but also leadership too. Men gotta understand they're not going to lead themselves. Okay. So I do think that he should have had Zaraya sitting right there.
A conversation. I don't want to talk to Zaraya. She's a stranger. She divorced and left one inmate to be with another. I'm not interested at all.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So at this point, you see that Zaraya is now sitting next to Troy, getting closer and agitating her more. You got to realize they have a child together, and she has not moved on.
Oh, I'm okay. I don't want to have a conversation while she's right here. So if we can't talk regular, me and you, until we can earn some stability, because if you don't respect me, then she's not going to respect me. Nor your mother is going to respect me. But you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Y'all have been having feuding with Troy here. Until me and you can build co-parenting stability, it can't be anybody else involved, Troy.
It don't matter. People make mistakes. People have mishaps in their lives. Like, it don't matter.
I don't feel safe with Troy coming to
okay, until it's stability, then it is what it is. You said you spoke your piece. You done?
You ain't dismissing me, sweetheart.
I'm not about to sit here and have this conversation with you.
Why? It needs to be had.
Zaraya should have been removed herself. She's not helping nothing. All right. Truly respecting your man's authority or just his know-how, what he decides to do and whatnot. But you say, all right, well, he'll take care of it because he has to take care of it. She can't do it for him. She can't do it for him. And again, you can tell that it was the same thing in his relationship with the other girl. He's basically saying, I'm done talking. She gonna tell him, you ain't go. In so many words, she said, you ain't going nowhere, or you're not going to dismiss me. You can't make someone sit there and have a conversation with you. What she's trying to do is convince him mentally. She's not telling him you can't go nowhere, but she's trying to manipulate him mentally into, you gotta sit here and interact with me. You gotta sit here and have this experience with me. You have to sit here and have the experience, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting stimulation out of this. Because again, she is still enjoying interacting with her child's father. Because it's not, that's the exact, I know I say it from time to time, but for her, it's still an interaction. Right. And again, she's not completely wrong. You know what I mean? I just don't agree with having conversations with your child's father is that the child's father has no say in a situation and you are in complete control. Also, this is another example of what people mean by how mothers exercise ownership over their kids and treat their kids as if they're their property. All right. That's his daughter. Like, if you wasn't going to bring his daughter, you could have said, hey, matter of fact, she knows they could have spoke over the phone, or they could have text, or she could have came up with a reasonable solution. But the solution is never going to be unless Zaraya does something to her daughter, which I get it. She's trying to take preventive measures to a certain degree, but Zaraya obviously is not violent or nothing like that. Now she crazy, but she's not violent. But also, Troy's mother also don't know how to keep her mouth shut, and Troy's mom is just not a good matriarch at all. She got high as Zaraya's parents' church. You know what I mean? She just gets super like ghetto on an X-Men level. You understand? And she probably went and told, now knowing that things are tough between her son and his baby mother, she went and probably told her what happened. And also, you got to realize when women tell stories, and when women are mad at you, they're going to tell the story in a way where the other person gets mad at you too. You understand? Because again, women tell stories in a way to get you on their side, not just to tell the story. Get it? All right. So super important. What else we got here? So let's go ahead and play the rest of this, and we're gonna close out, man. We almost had an hour and a half. I've been going at it long enough, man. Also, if you like the content, please like, share, subscribe.
We had the
It
conversation.
needs to be had.
Say what you said. I
You want
said
to
what
see
I
your
said.
daughter.
My
It's
daughter's
like
not
you,
here.
But
My daughter's not here. Is my daughter in your car right now?
You don't
Is
know
my
what's
daughter
going
in
on.
your car right now?
Regardless of that, you still don't know how to be a parent. Regardless. So you going in my car for what?
Is my daughter in your car?
Don't worry about what's in my car. Don't go to my car. This is when you step in and control your husband.
Now, so she don't know Zaraya, and now she's trying to include Zaraya in it. She's telling her this is when you step in and control your husband. Wives don't control their husbands. That's why y'all both got it fucked up. It's like, don't no one know what they doing here. And you know what would have made it peaceful? If Troy had his shit together. If Troy, you know what? Actually, she's probably right. He's not ready to be a patriarch whatsoever, but you chose to have kids with him. He didn't show you no qualities that said, this is going to be a good daddy. This is going to be a good father. Why? Because we started to realize that y'all are not really attracted to them. It's not attractive to you for a man to be righteous, for a man to do the right thing. There was an episode of the Just Pearly Thing show. It was some lady on there. I forget what her name was. She was a black lady, very regular looking. You know what I'm saying? Very regular. Wasn't doing nothing really out the way. I can't say she did anything special or anything wonderful. She has a cooking show, I guess. And somehow she was selected to be, or she was on that show. I forget her name and whatnot, but she wears a natural hair. She wears glasses. She's not nothing crazy to look at and whatnot, but she is so nice and such a lady and so tender. And she may be a terrible person, but she at least sounds somewhat nice. she sounds like she's someone that you would want to be around. You want to come to her house. You know what I mean? And we also got to realize that the world needs nice ladies. Y'all want to grow up in a world with a bunch of mean old ladies? You remember the first time you experienced a mean old lady? I remember a lady on my block. Her name was Charlotte. She was always ancient. She looked to the point that she was so old that it made me uncomfortable, because that was my first time being around someone that was that old, like droopy and sagging old. Rest in peace. God bless the dead. No bad juju. No bad juju. You understand? But but anyway, shout out to her. But I mean, she was no bad person and whatnot. But she did come across as nice. And because most was always telling us that, hey, stop, playing. I think we used to play on her grass a little bit, you know what I'm saying, and this and that. So not me, my friend Homie. His nickname was really Homie. But anyway, when you was younger in general, when you met a woman that wasn't your grandmother or mother, and they weren't nice to you, or you heard women cursing and stuff like that, that's not useful for the world. It makes the world a crappy place. We don't need no cowards, and we don't need bitches. It's not cool. Actually, for the best advice for men and women is don't be a bitch, or stop being a bitch. It's the best advice that you could possibly act on. Just don't be a bitch. It's not helpful to nobody. Not to you. Not helpful to nobody. No bad juju. Not cutesy. Not demure. Not mindful. This whole fit. First of all, I ain't gonna lie. Both of them are dressed to fight.
Because that's none of his concern.
I'll be right
So
back.
as a woman, you should be like,
You
Troy,
can't
you know
step
what?
in and
She
they
ain't
want
said
to
nothing
talk
about
now,
girl,
Yanni. You just
a kid
exactly.
too.
So go
You
get
dumb as
your
hell
baby
too.
father.
So this right here is another reason why, if you know that both of them are like this, or combative and angry and stuff like that, why would you have them in the same space while you both at odds? We at odds with both of them, bro. First of all, he should have went to go meet her halfway. All right. Zaraya, now also I don't agree. I'm like, fam, her insulting Zaraya, that's not, bro, that shit is lame, my nigga. Like,
You dumb as hell too. You just as dumb.
You told me my daughter was coming here.
All right, so next episode, let's break down. I think it's Robin Tenney.
What you got going on?
So I'm gonna close out on this right here. So this is another byproduct of having no structure in the household and not having men in the household. What happens also is now we get the whole son husband thing, where that woman feels as though this is my man and I rely on this man because I don't have no man. Because as soon as you become of age and whatnot, you become her man. Because she's gonna need you to do things around the house. If you're able to make money, you're gonna wind up if your mother's too broke, you're gonna wind up taking care of your mother. Especially if you got a broke mom. I remember growing up, man, I had a girlfriend, man, and for the longest time, I remember her saying to me, hey, I had to tell you a secret. I never told you, nothing like that. I remember you came to my house and you asked if we can go to my room and everything, and I said no. And I want to tell you that, and mind you, now it was a really sweet thing because she didn't feel right lying to me. And she said she wanted to tell me that, hey, I don't have my own room. I sleep in the bed with my mother. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't look down on her for it. I don't remember having those kind of feelings about it. And at the time, she had a grandmother who did nothing. I remember her telling me that she feels as though because she took care of her kids her whole life, that now her kids should take care of her. And her grandmother used to sit around the house with these Chinese slippers on. And that's all I should ever see her wear is these Chinese slippers. And one time I saw her out at the Pathmark having goddamn, this is 04, 05, goddamn Chinese slippers. God damn it. No, I'm joking. But what it spoke to at that time was I didn't understand that because their life was different. I didn't sleep in the bed with no one. I had my own room. I lived with my dad. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in this like 3-family on this nice street. Like to live somewhere like that right now, it would be about $2,100. It would be about $2,000. In an area like that, now it'd be about $2,000. I think at the time he was paying like, this is 1990, this is 2000. So he probably was paying like $700 where he was at, $800 where he was at. And I feel like he said it was like $1,100 for us to live there, which is a lot of money at that time. That's the 2000s. I gotta ask my dad how much it costs to live in that apartment. I should have called him and whatnot, but he at work. But anyway, so the beef that Rob's mom initially had with him, had with Tenny, was that he's not giving me no money no more because the money he was getting while he was in jail, he started giving it to Tenny. So I'm not sure why. I don't know if he stopped helping his mother altogether or what happened. But basically, what happened is, again, Rob went from one owner to the other. So what happens in these situations is that the mother trains the son to basically participate in a little more of a slave. It's not that it's so much that it's slave master, but it's slave master-esque, where like you don't have no control. You don't ever tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? I dictate right from wrong in your life, and that's it. And that's the end of the conversation. No arguments, no grief. You know what I mean? So when things don't go my way, I seek to destroy the relationship. So his mother wasn't talking to him. His mother actually didn't come to visit him in jail either, right? And what happened was when he got with Tenny became that new figure in his life where Tenny also tells him and influences his thoughts and decisions. You know what I'm saying? Tenny has him playing super duper stepdad. Like he really fucked with these kids. And shout out to him, right? If that makes him happy. And he really rocked with these kids. And you would think that she will be doing everything she can to keep this man. Not only that, the fact that he's made to where you only got to go have you a part-time job or a little job somewhere. You do not have to worry about escalating or becoming successful. Because when you broke, that's when what's going on here? I don't know where it is. Okay. Sorry about that. When you broke, that's when you got to start trying to be successful. But if it's two of y'all and whatnot, both of y'all can just kind of live a regular life because it's two incomes. Y'all always will be able to work off of two incomes, and you can kind of have a decent life. And I'm hoping that the economy drives women back into the mindset of like, you know what, let me do what's going to actually work, which is get a family, and I don't have to worry about how I'm going to pay all these bills without being absolutely broke. Because I ain't going to lie, I'm like, when you get to a point where like, yo, you are working and living to pay bills, that's not a good point to be at. It's very, very stressful. But anyway, so in one of the first episodes of the season, they have a coming home party for Rob and whatnot. And, Tenny and Rob's mom have already gotten into it before in previous episodes, so they're both firecrackers. They both don't really respect other people and stuff like that, right? So they're just a storm waiting to happen. Rob's mom is very rude, right? And Rob's mom makes a comment, and Tenny says, "You know what? I'm just gonna walk away." And she makes another comment, and then Tenny comes back and gets in Rob's mom's face, right? And then they both stand up and they start screaming and whatnot, like you're gonna see Rob's mom do right here, right? And then Tenny mushes her, like you're gonna see in the clip.
I'm living life, bro. I'm blessed. The last time I seen my brother, it's been a minute. I heard you're doing good too.
It looks like
my mom had hit me up and told me Rob had been calling her, and things can get toxic. So I just thought it would be important for me to come as a mediator.
No, what he's saying is that, yo, I know how she is, and that's how you know that, yo, that your maturity is at an all-time low when someone has to come along to mediate between you and someone who came out your body. That boy came out your body. So that man came out your body, bro. Why do you need a mediator?
What's going on, woman?
You know, we haven't been able to converse. I don't even know what's going on. Like, I don't even know what you've been through. I don't know nothing.
I'm living life in a different setting. I don't want to go back to where I came from. And me and my family decided that UConn was the place to be for us to be, out the way work.
So Rob is addressing why he moves. I'm guessing he moved a good. I mean, they drove over there, so I didn't hear him talk about driving no far distance and nothing like that. So, but he's speaking to like what he's been doing and why he decided to move away. All right,
getting and raising the kids.
I get it. You can still do that and still be involved with us as well. I'm hurting. Keyshawn hurting. We all hurting.
I can see that, but at the same time, every day ain't gonna be how y'all want it to be. Let me figure it out. Y'all haven't gave me time to figure it out. Just got out, mama. I can't just go back to tussle. What, just be in tussle every day?
What the Why is she at my house? I'm not happy about it at all.
And this right is what I'm talking about. The slave master like dynamic and whatnot. That's his mother. A man could never tell a woman that his mother can't come, that her mother and father can't come to her house or make her feel like. Let me tell you something. If a woman ever tries to make you feel like your family members can't come around, you were in a very dangerous situation. She is going to destroy you. She is isolating you. You cannot avoid your family. Okay? And what's going on here is that Rob is feeling the pressure because he thinks in his mind that if I do what Tenny wants, if I do keep doing things for her, at some point she's going to really love me. I'm not saying that she don't show no affection, nothing like that, but he thinks that things will get better if he keeps doing what she asks, if he keeps attending to her needs. And don't get me wrong, as men, we love to see our women happy, right? But it's gotten to where he's not able to discern for himself, does this right and wrong to me? Because also she's supposed to kind of, for the most part, adjust to your idea of right from wrong. But then again, y'all morals shall line anyway. But she's supposed to have the assumption that whatever he's doing or he's talking about, he has my best interest at heart, and he's not going to do anything to hurt me. So therefore, I trust the things he says or the things he says that we should do or the things he says that he's going to do. Right? That is not your call to decide when your man can have company and who can come over. Why is she at my house? That's his mother. Fam, you know how much it will break her? She got a son. You know how much it will break her? You know what's going to happen? When her son has a woman in the future, he going to get the same kind of woman, and she going to find herself saying to her son, damn, Nehemiah, I think his name is Nehemiah. Yo, I haven't heard from you, haven't seen you and whatnot. And he going to be talking to her about his woman and how his woman said, yo, she don't like Mama Tenny coming around. Growing up, again, my mother loved me and everything, but my mother had her own issues. My mother and my grandmother, no one ever told me yo, it's up to you to lead. It's up to you to be in charge. She's not in charge of you. Not even that. Or she don't run you. Not even that. Not even something simple as saying, yo, that woman don't run you. A lot of black men do not. Over the last couple of years, with the red pill and the manosphere and the Kevin Samuels and all these different people, this is modern men's first time realizing that, yo, I'm free. Especially black men. And you know why? You know why I know I'm free? Because I heard attorney Dennis Sperling use the words, and he said, you are free men. This world is yours. Go out there and go see it. You're a free man. You're free to go wherever you want to go. And him using those words and being clear, it made it easier for me to understand, yes, we are free. This is the freest generation of black men to ever exist in America. Physically and mentally. On the channel one time I asked my brother, have you ever felt like a white person was going to stop you from going somewhere you wanted to go or doing something that you want to do? He said, nah, that's beautiful. He has no fear of white people or white people trying to thwart him. And maybe that may happen. But that kind of shit, you are defeated mentally. When someone can defeat you mentally, then there's no war. There's also a battlefield here as well. And that's what men don't understand about the world and about our women, that the women will attack you on a psychological level first. Like Professor X. Like Professor X. Oh, my soundboard went away. Can't have that. You know what I'm saying?
Thank goodness you've had your surgery.
All right.
It is definitely disrespectful for Rob to have set up a meeting without me knowing. That really makes my blood boil.
All I'm hearing is excuses. If you got to have excuses in order not to deal with your family, that's fine. We're willing to accept that and move forward. And all I'm here to do is just vindicate my name. That fight that we had, that wasn't supposed to happen.
So how did it happen?
That's not my character no more.
How did it happen, mama?
What you mean had happened?
How did it happen, mama? Because two grown women having a disagreement
So
verbally.
it's okay for somebody to put their hands on you?
It's not okay for nobody to put their hands on my
And then
mother,
she totally
first of all.
right, but she disrespected
You
me
put your
because she
hands
wouldn't even
on her, mama. She didn't.
Yo. And that's how deep the mind control is. And you know what else? You know what else too? It's all her fault. They keep playing. You know why they keep playing that footage over and over again? Because they want you to keep showing Tinny going after his mother. Tinny was going after from the beginning. She was physically, his mother might have been talking shit, but she physically went after her. If Rob wasn't there, Tinny was going to try to beat the hell out of her. If he hadn't been there and whatnot to break them up to the point where he fought on top of his mother. You know what I mean? And again, he's around Tinny more. He listens to Tinny more. And Tinny has a strong influence over him. Talking about her blood boil. What woman blood boils? Women's blood don't boil. Blood boil? That sounds like one of them spells. With rabbits. And things of that sort. All right, y'all.
She didn't hit you. She wouldn't dare hit you.
She put her hands on. She touched me.
Why?
What why?
Because you hit her. Did you not, mama?
Have you?
She didn't hit you first. She didn't come off and swing on you.
Rob, you was there. They about to show it again, I think.
She wouldn't dare. I don't play that, mama.
Mama
said she grabbed her mouth like.
She touched me.
Not at all. Ask mama to tell you the truth since we put it out there. Tinny didn't grab her mouth. Tinny know better.
Boom, right there. Tinny hand goes up first. Rob is right there. Rob sees her hand. And Rob is sitting here saying how that happened. I'm like, Rob.
So to say she went and grabbed your chin, Tinny turned.
Oh, here we go. Yo, this is a crazy freeze frame. 0 to 100. Mothers, if you got a young son, please be good to your son. Please be a good example because he's going to bring you home one day. more than likely he'll find someone with worse behavior than you. When men ain't shit, you know what I'm saying? When men really ain't shit, yo, they really, because women are already attracted to the guy that basically has less going on, and that's because, again, he's not going to be on her about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, right? If I'm a dude that really enjoys frying my own chicken, you know what I'm saying? I have a dessert every single day, this and that. Then I may not, if I had a choice between 3 women and one of them works out and one of them meal preps and whatnot, right? And let's just say that she ain't crazy with it. She meal prep regular food is food that's pretty good, but it's not just sandwiches and, you know, and fried chicken and fried this and fried that and everything. And she making chicken and rice, beef and rice thing, but it do taste good. But because it's not absolute junk food, because she don't bake me a sweet potato pie a few times a week and whatnot, she just bake one every 2 weeks. I look at her like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like, yo, but if I'm a dude that's undisciplined and I don't like healthy food, I'm not going to be attracted to her. That's how men got to understand how women look at the guy that you know, if they kind of wind up with. They're going to kind of always go with the guy who has no structure, because therefore no work. You don't have to work, and he's also not going to be as critical of you. Again, it's all psychological warfare. She knows that guy, and he's not going to have the balls or the words or even think to correct her. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, if you ask the child what kind of parents the child wants to have, they're going to describe some friends. They're going to describe a really cool older brother and sister every time. All right, a real or just a real cool like bodyguard. So the bodyguard, yeah, that's what the child would probably describe a bodyguard. The bodyguard it benefits the person, right? But the bodyguard can't tell the person what to do, right? And you will only listen to the bodyguard in situations that are kind of, I don't say extreme, but situations that where it's like, I, you know, I'm gonna listen because you're about to do something for me, or I know that you're about to sacrifice yourself for me, so that's going to benefit from me. So now I'm gonna listen for that. But the bodyguard can't tell the person how to make decisions and whatnot. But I'm just saying in terms of like your role in that person's life, that's kind of what it's like. You feel me? But yo, this is a crazy still. 0 to 100. Yo, first of all, the lips, the teeth. Yo, she slapped that table like a battle rapper.
Damn it! I ain't that crazy. I know
But you are.
You sit here talking to us like we crazy, like we don't know what
Again with the kids there.
Did you hear that?
Man, you were fighting in front of your kids. What are you talking about? You had that fight. Your kids was at that event, and you had no problem fighting that woman at that event.
you don't want to with us, and you sit up here taking up for her, and she's totally violating me. I can't even talk. I can't even believe this is going on. I don't even care no more. If that's what you want, we'll accept it and move on. So, Rob, we know you got hands. She disrespecting me.
Disrespected you how? I don't get why she keeps saying that.
Tane, you put your hands on his mother. What do you mean? Yo, Rob, oh God, Rob, you gotta get away, bro. He gotta get away from all these people. He gonna have to go to Idaho. Rob gotta go to Idaho and find himself. He needs to become a Mormon in Salt Lake City. He gotta go to Egypt first. Go to the Mecca. After that, is the Mecca? Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Where was Mecca at?
Here's a map of Makkah, Saudi Arabia.
I don't think that's what I'm talking about. But okay, T-Mobile. Okay, you got it. But anywho, all right, man. So yeah, man, that's what it is. So we'll see what happens tonight and on Life After Lockup. You understand? And yeah, man, y'all be easy out there, man. Please like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the content, man. So listen, until next time, we are out of here. You understand? Woo! Yeah.